Welcome back to the channel. Here I upload videos on subjects pertaining to allied health sciences under RGUHS guidelines. As you guys can see, today's video is on glands in anatomical perspective. So, what is a gland? Where is the gland? What is its function? Are there any types? What do they secrete? Okay, these questions are answered in this video. Watch till end to know the topic in detail for your exams as well as the notes that are given in the video for your reference. And most of all, don't forget to subscribe to the channel Proactive Prudence. Now, coming back to this topic. Glands. What are glands? Glands are an organ which can secrete any type of chemical substance that is being discharged in your body. So these glands, as you can see in the image, they have a secretory cells. So these secretory cells secrete certain material, and the secreted material is utilized by the body for a certain function. So let us move to the in-depth study on the glands. So basically, glands have a lining of epithelial cells on the surface and the body cavities where the body needs are met by these secretions. So these glands have a secretory part called acinus and a conducting part called duct. So the acinus is a region where the secretions are being produced, and the conducting part or the duct is where the secretions are moved out from the secreted region to the region where it is poured out. So that is the work of a gland. Moving to the next thing, the classification. So classification is based on various things. So we'll see what all classifications we are going to study. So first day we'll see the classification based on the gross structure. What is a gross structure? Gross structure is a simple naked structure. See, the perspective you see the glands is dependent on the way it is visible to your eyes. So this gross structure has simple and compound as two subdivisions. So in simple glands, there are only single duct, wherein this duct is shaped in a tubular form or alveolar form or both tubular alveolar. So this tubular is long and tube-like. You can observe in this image there is a simple tubular structure which is usually seen in the intestinal glands where certain mucus is secreted or any digesting enzymes are being secreted in the intestine. So that is the work of a intestinal gland, and you can observe the shape or the structure, gross structure of the simple tubular form. Moving to the next type, which is alveolar. As the definition says, alveolar is the one which is flask shaped. So you can see the image over here, the simple alveolar form, wherein the surface epithelium is flat and the duct is similar to the tubular, but the base of the duct wherein the gland cells are present, it is in a flask shaped. Okay, so that is simple alveolar. Moving to the tubulo-alveolar, which is a mixture of tubular as well as alveolar type. You can see it here at the end. Okay, so these are tubulo-alveolar. So there is a flask shaped as well as a tubular shaped. Okay, moving to the next one, which is a compound. So as I told that a simple one has a single duct, but a compound has two or more than two ducts. So you can observe there are different forms of compound, which is compound alveolar. You can observe the flask shaped duct, the gland cells, flask shaped, conducting tube as well. So the compound alveolar has many openings from which secretions are secreted. There is a compound tubulo-alveolar and a compound tubular. So where all do you observe compound alveolar? So compound alveolar is seen in the mammary glands. Compound tubulo-alveolar is observed in the salivary glands, and compound tubular is observed in the mucous glands in the mouth. So this is based on upon the gross structure of the glands. So the next sub classification is based upon the microscopic structure and the type of secretion the gland is secreting. So based upon microscopic structure and the type of secretion, there are three types, which is serous salivary glands, mucous salivary glands, and the mixed salivary glands. Based on the function, it is exocrine and endocrine. Exocrine is the one which is involved in secretions with the conducting tube, whereas endocrine directly releases the secretions into the blood flow. So you can observe in the image there is a duct for an exocrine gland, and there is no duct but directly it is secreted into the blood cells. So the endocrine cells are said to release hormones, and exocrine are said to release secretions or the gland secretions. Moving to the next classification, or the fourth classification, which is based upon the mode of secretion. Mode of secretion is what type of particle it is releasing, or what type of secretion it is being released. So there are three types: ecrine or merocrine, epocrine, and holocrine. So these are the three different types. So you can observe in the image, the merocrine is the first one, whereas the vesicles are releasing content into ducts, and there is a secretion in the duct. You can observe the secretions or the vesicles that is being released from the secretory cells or the gland cells. Moving to the next form, there is a pinched off portion of a cell into the secretions. So in the first form, you see a round globule in which a secretion is being added and it diffuses through the cell membrane, whereas the second form, wherein apocrine, has a cell pinched off along with the secretory product. Moving to the third type, which is holocrine, which is a dying cell is released along with the secretory product. So the cell which is at the stage of death or is about to die, the cell along with the secretory substance is released through the conducting duct or the gland. Okay, so these are the three different types based upon the mode of secretion, how the secretion is being sent. So now we are seeing the various types of glands in detail. So firstly, we'll see what is a serous gland. So you can observe the image of a serous gland under a microscope. So the serous has a lobule in each microscopic structure, as you observe. So this lobule will have a serous acini, wherein the secretions are being secreted, and there are many ducts through which the secretions are sent out. Okay, the serous acini is having a pyramidal cells which are eosinophilic, granular, as well as having a microvilli at their tips. So, and they also have a spherical nucleus. So you can observe over here, there is a pyramidal shaped cells with eosinophil or a granular structure inside the cell, and you can observe a spherical nuclei as well. So that is an acini as well as a conducting duct through which the secretions are sent. So this is a pyramidal shaped cell. Moving to the types of or the type of duct the serous glands have, it is a intralobular duct. Intralobular in the sense the lobule has a duct inside it. Okay, there are two types of intralobular duct, which are intercalated ducts that are lined by a cuboidal cells, and a striate duct which have a simple columnar epithelium. So the intercalated ducts are these, and the striated ducts are the columnar cells that you observe in the image. So this is a serous gland. Moving to the next type of gland, which is mucous gland. So this mucous gland also consists of many lobules which have a mucous acini as well as very few ducts. So what is this mucous acini lined with? It has a short columnar cells which are basophilic, which have a basic nature neutrophils, Then you have a agranular cell, as well as there is no microvilli as compared to serous glands. So in mucous glands you have basophilic, agranular, and no microvilli. They have a flattened cell as compared to the serous glands nuclei, which is spherical. Here it is a flattened nuclei which have their cells nuclei are pushed to an end. Okay, so the mucus acini has intralobular duct as well as interlobular duct. Intralobular is inside the duct, as well as interlobular is between two lobules. Okay, so the intralobular ducts have two types of ducts which are intercalated, as I told in the previous one, wherein you have a cuboidal cells aligned near the intercalated duct. In a striate duct, you have a columnar cell similar to the serous glands. Now, moving to the next interlobular ducts, these have simple columnar epithelium. So, the interlobular ducts are lined by a columnar epithelium. So, the example of mucous glands are submandibular salivary glands, which are present at the inferior region of the mandible. Okay, so this is a mucous gland. Moving to the mixed salivary glands. So as the name says, mixed salivary gland, there are two different types of glands which consists of a serous as well as mucous acini. So there are both the serous as well as mucous acini present, and they have many ducts in it. So you can observe the lobule has both serous as well as mucous acini, wherein the mucous acini is capped by a serous demiluens. So you can see a half moon shaped serous gland is covering the other part of the mucous acini. Okay, so the serous secretions decrease the viscosity and the mucus in the viscosity of the mucus in the mucus acini. So mucus acini is said to be very thick compared to the serous acini. So serous acini secretions. So the serous acini secretions decrease the viscosity or the thickness of the mucus that is being secreted by mucus acini. So the gland which secretes this mixed salivary secretions are the submandibular glands. Moving to the exocrine glands. As I told, these exocrine glands are not directly released but through the ducts. So these secretions are usually termed as enzymes which are transferred through the ducts. So these enzymes, for example, like gastric glands which secrete gastric juice or the HCl mixture, and you have acinar part of pancreas which secretes pancreatic juices, and salivary glands which secrete saliva. So you can observe the various types of exocrine glands as well in the image. There is a simple type, a tubular, a branched tubular, a coiled tubular, a branched alveolar, a compound type which is tubular as well as alveolar. So that is an example of exocrine. Moving to the endocrine. So as I told, endocrine directly releases the secretions into the blood. They don't have any ducts, and these secretions are directly poured into the blood vessels. So the few examples and the secretions that are being released from endocrine are usually termed as hormones. And the examples for few endocrine glands are thyroid, parathyroid, pituitary, islets of pancreas. So these secretions will be dealt in detail in the upcoming videos. Moving to the acrine. So this I told based upon the mode of secretions. So the acrine is where the cell is intact and the secretions are sent in the form of vesicles. So please do remember, there is always a chance of confusion between acrine, apocrine and holocrine. So in acrine you can see that there is secretions that are sent in the form of vesicles from the cell into the membrane. Through the membrane the secretions fuse out and are released into the duct. Okay, so the few examples are sweat glands for the acrine. Apocrine. So in apocrine, the cytoplasm pinches off along with the secretion. So the cell literally pinches its cytoplasm along with the secretion. So the example of apocrine is mammary gland. Moving to the holocrine, wherein the dead cell along with the secretion is sent. Okay, so the accumulated mass of secretory vessel is disintegrated along with the whole cell, the dead cell or the whole cell. Okay, so that is an example of a holocrine. So this is the end of the topic, and I'll be uploading a video on next topic in the upcoming video. So if you do like the content that I am posting on YouTube, please do like the video, as well as share it among with your friends, so that they also get to know there is a channel that uploads videos based upon RGHS guidelines, so that they can score well in their exams as well. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to have updates on the new videos that I'll be uploading in short duration. Thank you.